Bortle here with Saul at Top 4 Kansas Regional with his infamous deck that he created. Alright, Saul, what is this? What's his deck?
This is STD HandTrap Invoked.
Oh, what's that stand for?
Spellbook, True-draco, and the HandTrap's Invoked. The reason I call it STD because it gives your opponent AIDS.
Oh my goodness. Need some protection.
Alright, so I broke it down into engines. So I'll start off with the True-draco engine.
Alright.
For the monsters, just 2 True-draco Masterpiece. You don't need more than 2. 3 is too much. 2 is fine.
Okay.
He's played 1 Wraith because he's like the Hammer Kong of the deck. Also, he could special summon out whenever he's sent from field, whenever he leaves the field. So, you know, comes off pretty good.
Oh, what's it combo off with?
You could, it basically just turbos out into your other True-draco monsters. It makes protection, and also it helps you make VFD.
Okay.
There he is!
And the 1 True-draco Phoenix. So this one by itself, it doesn't do too much, but it's a level 9 for BFD. Also, you combo it off with Diagram. You pop this, search for Masterpiece, search for a trap, and basically sets up your Masterpiece play. But yeah, this is the only True-draco monsters. These are the only True-draco monsters that I play. No more.
Just 4?
Yeah, just 4. Since I'm running a bunch of engines, I kind of wanted to cut it down. I didn't want to run too many monsters, because then the problem you have is having monsters but not having spells or traps to tribute off for them. So just this is fine. So I wouldn't change it. For the spells, 3 Diagram, because it's Diagram.
Yes.
I don't need to explain. 3 Heritage, because it lets me draw cards and it lets me tribute, which is always good, you know, and it pops my opponent's spells and traps, which is also good. But yeah, 3. Wouldn't run any less than 3. Okay. Just 1 Disciples. The reason I only run 1 is because it sucks going first. You never want to see this going first, and it's also like very searchable through Diagram, so anytime that you need it, you could just search it with Diagram. You won't ever need a second one. If you do, you're pretty much losing anyways. So, you know, and the reason I only run 1 and I don't like it first turn is because in order for me to get the draw effect, I need to shuffle back 3, and most of the time you're not gonna have 3 True-draco cards in your graveyard, anyways. So, but you know, it's good to, you know, for the draw and extra tribute. So,
Okay.
for the traps, 3 Apocalypse and 1 True King Return. This got limited, and since that got limited, you have to bump this up to all the way up to 3 because, you know, it lets you tribute on your opponent's turn. Also, you could destroy monsters, like problem monsters like Bagushka, Bortle, basically anything that you know is unaffected by monster effects or something like that. This will just get over it. You know, you could just easily just pop it off with Diagram and then just get rid of the Bagushka and just go from there. Also, the effect to half actually does come up because you target a spell, and then you go effect to have, target this, send this, and then you pop their field spell, like the Resort or a Diagram or anything like that. You obviously do that before they activate the effect, so it's pretty relevant. And True King Return is it's True King Return.
Yeah, true that.
And that's it for the True-draco engine.
Okay.
For the Spellbooks, 1 Blue Boy, 3 Knowledge, 3 Secrets and 2 Knowledge. The reason I ran 3 was because I wanted to see this going first as much as possible, because it, you know, if I open this and nothing else, it gets me to this, and then it'll get me to this, and I just draw 2 cards, and then after that I just have, you know, basically like, you know, these still in left index. So even if I draw this, it'll immediately search into this, or even if I draw into these 2 or these 2, like I just secrets into this and then discard that, and you know, I'm not gonna change the ratio. Most people would say it's like, well, it's too many secrets, but going first, you want to see it because it's just, you're just trying to draw cards, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, so why would you not want to, you know? So yeah.
Very nice.
And I never bricked with these. These were always, the bigger brick is this, right? Because you need something else to combo off with it, versus with these, like if you draw this, like any one of these, and nothing else, you get to draw 2 cards, and then that would basically fix your hand. So that's why I bumped this up to 3, so I could, you know, combo off with the blue boy and then this. I didn't want to see this. I want to search it always. I never want to actually draw it. Unless I'm top decking.
Oh, so sounds like you found the perfect ratio there.
Yeah. Well, in this specific deck, because of all the engines that I'm running.
Oh yeah.
Alright, for the Invoked, I'm running 2 A-lister, 1 Meltdown, and 1 Invocation. You never need more than 1. This is a brick. If you draw this, it's complete ass because it doesn't combo off with anything.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, it's like you're not relying so much on the Invoked engine as you are, like, you know, as kind of like an extender. So you don't need more than 1 invocation. So, and the reason I'm running 2 A-listers is because, and not 3, is because once you see the first one, you pretty much have an A-lister every turn, and you want to draw into something else, like a combo card after that. You don't want to draw into more A-listers because then you already have one that pretty much does nothing after that. I mean, sure, you could get the honest effect, but, you know, you could just let your fusion monster die, and then the next turn you just make another one. And that's the point of it, is just constant, you know, fusion monsters every turn. So you just need 2. And the 1 Meltdown, the reason I just 1 run Meltdown again is because I'm not running so many A-listers. And I opted to play this over the 3rd one because if I terraforming, I literally get terraform will get me to this, which gets me to this, and then this gets me to this. So basically, just 1 terraform and 1 Meltdown will get me to this, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's just like my entire engine's already like brought out, and I don't need it to. I don't need more angles. It's already got the one that I needed.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with you there.
You know. Yeah. So definitely wouldn't run any more A-listers or Meltdowns.
Yep, makes sense if you're playing terraforming. Yeah.
So for the hand traps, obviously 1 Max C. If you're not running this, you're garbage.
Nice.
3 Drone Lockbirds. It's pretty good against Trickstars and Spyrals, and somewhat against Pendulum Magicians. And then if you go up against like 2 Dracos, pretty much just ends their turn. I mean, if your deck is not searching or drawing cards, you're probably like a tier 2, 3 deck. You're not gonna. I gotta take notes. You're not very. It's not a very good deck. Because honestly, nowadays, it's like if you're not searching, what are you doing? Or drawing, you know? So. Gotta run 3.
Totally agree, yeah.
3 Ash Blossom. I don't need to explain. And then 3 Ogre. This is, you know, it's just Ogre. You could hit field spells and monsters like, you know, that are, you know, kind of like a last-ditch effort to just kind of like stay alive. So yeah. So total hand traps are 10. So 3 Ogre. 3 and 3 and that. So the reason that you're running so much draw power is because you're trying to draw into this, because none of these cards are searchable. So you need to draw into them because everything else in the deck is pretty much searchable. So the entire True-draco engine searchable throughout itself. Invoked engine searchable, and then this is literally searchable drop it. Right? So that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to search everything out from here. So once you start drawing cards, you want to draw into this. Because if you just draw any one of these cards against the Spiral player, you pretty much just end their turn, and then on your turn you just start drawing into more and then just combo off from there.
Yeah.
You know? And then for the final cards, one Gofu for Link plays, and it's Gofu. I mean, you know.
Oh wow, you can make Link monsters too in this?
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
The 3 terraforming because you run 4 field spells, and this is never done. Like I've never predicted this is in like if you draw this, it's like you could search for either your diagram to combo off into True-draco engine, or just literally search for the meltdown that gets your entire invoked engine going. So no reason not to run it. And the one I'll start because we're trying to make it as consistent as possible.
Oh,
so this is 40 cards with one upstart.
So 39 card deck.
Yes.
Wow.
It's all about just
jam-packed in there, man.
Yeah, it's all about just either drawing into your defensive cards, which is your hand traps, or getting your invoked engine, and then your True-draco. The True-draco cards, they require a lot of cards to combo off. Since like spellbooks, there's just one card. You just draw secrets and you combo off there. Invoked, it's terraforming or meltdown or eggless, and you just combo off from there. But with True-dracos, you need more cards to combo off. They're usually more like 2 or 3, card combos. So, we're just trying to make it as consistent and just,
Okay, extra deck next. Is that cool?
Yeah, extra deck. Extra deck was actually pretty tight. So, obviously running 3 Mechaba, it actually does come up. I mean, it's the best fusion of the. This is the reason you pretty much run invoked.
Yeah.
It just applies so much pressure. So, and it's a level 9 for your VFD plays, which you do go into quite a bit. For the other ones, just one Kaliga. It's basically like a skill drain, and also they could only attack with 1 monster per turn. So it pretty much kind of like just slows the game down. So where if you don't have an optimal play going first, you just make this, and then basically against any deck they just get 1 monster effect, and that's it. And the only way Spiral gets over this is if they have the super agent in hand. But even then, like if you have a way to protect them, dropping the A-lister from hand or something like that, it's just basically just they're not going to do much after that because they already had their 1 effect.
Okay.
So 1 Rajin. Don't ever need the second one. I mean, sometimes you kind of like do, but it doesn't really matter because after you make the first one, this one's usually only going up against Pendulum Magicians because you book a moon the monster that have in the extra zone, and then they can't do anything after that because you can't link with face down monsters or synchro with face down monsters and stuff like that. So you pretty much just end their major plays from there. And also this is like, it's just kind of like more defensive than offensive. So, yeah, I wouldn't run more. Or maybe 2. I mean, it's really up to you if you're going to try to build that deck. 1 Casitas because it's basically auto-win against Paleo. It can be targeted or destroyed. It's 2900 defense. It's actually pretty hard to get over for some decks. So, it's relevant. You do need 1. You can't, like, I wanted to cut it, but it comes up too often where it's like, even if you don't have an optimal fusion play, even if you just make this, and most decks can't get over that. It's 2900 defense booty. You could bump it up to 3900 when you drop the A-lister from hand. So.
Okay.
So yeah. Purger Trio, you don't ever need more than 1 because by the time you summon the first one, you should be just attacking for game. When you go up against Trickstars, you attack into the scapegoat tokens, and it's just auto-win. This is more better against Pendulum Magicians because they have so many cards on the field, so you'll have either 2 scales and then like 1 or 2 monsters that they'll have on the field, and they'll spell and trap, and that's already going to make them 3300. And when you drop the A-lister, boost them by another 1,000, so it makes them 4K plus, and you just attack. And Harmonizing Magician is 0 attack, so basically you're just going to take that directly. Because I actually had the situation where I had Rajin and I booked. They Pendulum Summon Harmonizing Magician from the hand and Wisdom Eye from the extra deck. They went comboed off with Harmonized Magician, but I chained Reijin, booked the Wisdom Eye, and they attacked over this, which I didn't care, because on that following turn I summoned Purgo Trio, and literally just they took 4k plus when I attacked into the Harmonizing Magician. So.
Jeez.
So you just need one. You don't ever need two, because by the time you summon the first one, you should be winning. If you're not, then
something's wrong.
Yeah, something's wrong. You're not playing good. Just one Magilancia, because you could banish the Quick Fix or any of the Spyral monsters, like Super Agent or Helix, so they have less things to banish off for the sleeper. But mostly you want to banish the Quick Fix. You don't want that thing to be engraved. You want to banish it as quickly as possible.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah.
Well,
and actually
that's it for the invoked engine, right?
Yeah, that's it for the invokes. It's just those.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah. I run one Bagushka. The way you make it is if you're making Bagushka, you're pretty much like just trying to stall out to draw into more cards. And the way you make it is Kaliga and an A-lister. So Kaliga is actually like, you don't want to leave it on the field for too long. You just want to leave it usually for just one turn, and then go into Bagushka, because Bagushka is harder to out than Kaliga. So, but that's how you make Bagushka. One Divine Dragon Knight Felgrim.
Felgrim.
Yeah, you actually do make it, because the way you make it is when you summon out Magilancia is fucking vanilla. It does nothing. So you overlay with the Magilancia and the Masterpiece. Obviously you won't do that if the Masterpiece is tribute summoned, but if you summoned out a Masterpiece with True King's Return, you could, attack with the Masterpiece, attack with this, and then main phase 2, you overlay into Divine Dragon Knight Felgrim to give you some sort of interaction on your opponent's turn, which is, it doesn't come up too often, but it's actually there, because just leaving this and a Masterpiece that do nothing is not good. You'd rather have this. And we have the space in the extra deck, so why not?
Oh yeah, why not?
Heavy infantry, but I don't think it triggers the effect.
One True King of All Calamities. You make this several different ways. The ways you can make him is Mekaba.
Fuck telling them what they are to show them the card.
It's signed by Billy Draco.
And that, or the spiciness. Cloud Castle. The way you make Cloud Castle is Gofu and A-lister, and then you just combo out from there and just make that. But the reason you run Cloud Castle, if this is already engraved or the Mekaba is already engraved, you just bring it back, and it's great, because if you already have a Mekaba engraved, you summon it out, you fusion summon for another one, so now you have a VFD and a Mekaba, which is going to be pretty hard to get over, And if not, you could pop this with Diagram, get your search, synchro into this, bring this back, and then you just, overlay into your VFD after you've already plussed off of it, so it's pretty much just free after that. So,
Nice.
I know you don't have more than one ad clause.
And then for the Gofu play, Link Spider, that, and then Ningirsu. So Gofu is here for 1 or 2 plays. It's either the Ningirsu play or first turn VFD.
I took the bottom 5 cards of your deck and put it on top.
Good thing with Ningirsu, if you send the spells and traps, so you send either one of these to send something on their side of the field, and then you could destroy something else with either one of these, which is pretty good. You just keep plussing off of that. And that's it for the extra.
Sweet. Side deck time.
For the side deck, 3 evenly matched. I don't need to explain. 3 D-Bear. D-Bear was there just for like going first against, like, paleo, pendulums, you know, anything that goes into the extra deck that isn't links.
Oh no.
So the problem that I have against pendulum magicians is that hand traps aren't that great against them. So I side so many cards from them. Side that and that. And the evenly matches.
Oh wow.
Now, the reason I cite the magical springs is because it lets me draw cards, right? And also, their scales can't be destroyed, so they can't get their effects when they're destroyed. So the reason you do this is you go in a Desta so you try to draw cards so you could see you're evenly matched, because evenly matched is pretty much auto win against Pendulum Magician. So Cosmic Cyclones, because that's good against Paleos, True-dracos, and Pendulum Magicians, because they're being banished, you don't get their effects. And one Regeki Dark Hole Imperial Order.
Oh, cool.
That's it.
Yeah. So, you have any shout outs, Saul?
Shout out to the homie Houston for telling me that most of this deck sucks ass.
It does.
You know, shout out to my senpai Toby for finally noticing me after I topped.
Oh, hell yeah.
And shout out to all the people from Cosmic.
Cosmic. Oh,
Yeah, they
sick.
tell me
Show
that
these
are
guys.
bummed.
Yeah, look.
Against Tyler.
Houston right there, yeah.
Vincent, you got Lewis.
Alright,
Yeah.
thanks, man.